Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today I will share with you the solution for the question on page 387. Okay, on this exercise book. So the question asks you to calculate a home loan monthly installment. Okay, given to you these two formulas. Okay, so the first formula given to you requires you to multiply three values. Okay, the loan amount, okay, the annual interest rate, and also the loan duration. So in order for you to be able to translate this into a C++ statement, then you have to use the variables, okay, like the loan amount. Okay, you need to store the value into each corresponding variable name. So in this case, let me just use loan amount to indicate the loan amount here. Okay, the rate to indicate the annual interest rate, and years to indicate the loan duration. Okay, and then interest, let us simply use interest, right? So next, okay, since you know that these are the variables, so you have to declare the variables prior to their use. So since we already have the names, okay, then you have to determine the data type. Okay, for you to be able to decide on the appropriate data type, then look at the sample values. Okay, first for the interest, so the interest is the amount that needs to be the amount payable by the customer. So in this case, if I were to use this value, so notice that this is of type, this is a floating point value, so you can use float or double. Okay, in this case, I simply use float. Why not double, you might ask? So you see a float requires only 4 bytes of memory requirements. Okay, whereby if you use double, it requires double the memory requirement, which is 8 bytes. Okay, so if you use a lot of doubles, okay, in your work, so you just imagine, okay, your file size will grow, okay, bigger. Okay, but then if you use double, the precision is very good. Okay, it will not be truncated. Okay, your values too. Okay, so for simplicity, let me just stick to float. Okay, next one, the loan amount. Say that we have the loan amount of about 250,000 50 cent. Okay, so looking at this value, okay, I use float, okay, as the data type. Next one, the rate might be, for example, 2.12, so of course of type float. Then years, okay, let us just assume that the loan is in solid years, like 4 years, 10 years, and so on. So in this case, looking at the values, you can determine that the appropriate data type will be integer, right? So next formula would be to calculate the loan installment, the monthly installment. Okay, this monthly installment is calculated having the values of loan amount, okay, the interest, and then the loan duration. Okay, so you need to translate this formula into the C++ statement. So it will be this. Okay, so remember the loan amount you already have declared earlier. Okay, the interest, okay, you have the calculation, okay, in the previous formula. Okay, so the interest here is actually taken from this formula. Okay, and then the years, okay, multiplied by 12. Okay, next, the value is stored into the installment variable. So there is one new variable which is installment. Okay, So you need to declare the installment variable here. So example value might be like 1850.25 cents. So again, this is of type float. Okay, next. You are asked to write a complete program with the function definitions. So given to you the function called interest, and the task is to calculate and returns the interest. Okay, it tells you that the function receives loan amount, annual interest rate, and also the loan duration. Okay, so for this task you need to what we call decide, okay, which one version that you would like to use. Remember, we have two versions. Okay, the first version is when you use function, the first version is you can write the function definition on top and then followed by the main function at the bottom. Okay, so your main function will be at the very last in your program. Okay, so given to you this version, you can write the function definition on top and then call the function. So this way you don't have to write the function prototype declaration. Okay, but for the next version, you need to write the function prototype declaration and then call the function in the main function and followed by the function definitions. Okay, normally the function definitions are located at the bottom, all right, just after the main function. So the first version, the second version, which one that you prefer to use, okay, is up to you. But in this case, let me just select or choose the first version. Okay, this one. Okay, so when we use this version, then we can write the function definitions on top of the main function and only call the functions inside the main function. All right, next one. So you need to provide a function definition. So meaning you have to define the task for the function called interest. Okay, so the name is called interest. Okay, the name is called interest. Simply write called interest. Okay, next one. Take a look at the keyword return. It says here returns the interest. So you have to provide the keyword return. Return what? Return the interest. So simply write return interest. Okay. So you have return interest here. Okay. Next one. Take a look at, okay, this one. The interest. Since you need to return the interest, of course, this is the location. So you have to declare the location. Okay. So this is a local to call interest function. So you need to declare the interest. Just now we have discussed the interest is of type float. So declare interest of type float. Right. Next one. Since you know that there is a return type here, when you return interest, interest is of type float, then of course here you have to write the return type, okay, which is float. Very simple, right? The only thing that you need to understand is carefully, okay? Next one, it says here the function receives when one function receives something, so you have to provide the values in the parameter section. Okay, so it receives the loan amount, receive the annual interest rate, and also the loan duration. So there are three values the function receives. So these three values are the parameters. Okay, so here the loan amount is the loan amount, the rate, and then the years. Okay, so when you receive the values, the computer needs to know the type of the parameters. Okay, right. Okay, so in this case you need to the function called interest needs to know, okay, the types of data it expects to receive, okay, which is the parameters. So that is why you need to assign the type, okay, data type. And then also when it returns something, it needs to define, okay, the type of data that it will return. So when you return interest, the interest must be of type something, okay, so it needs to know before it returns the value. Okay, so next one, calculates the interest. How do we calculate the interest? Okay, as in the previous section, we have the formula, the first formula, right? So just use the first formula here, which is to calculate the interest. Okay, so we are done with the core interest function. So when you translate this draft into the C++ statements, it will become like this. Okay, so you have the function definition to calculate the amount of interest. Next is to provide the function definition for called installment. Okay, so same thing here, you have to draft the function definition. So the function name is called installment, receives three values: loan amount, interest and loan duration. Same thing here, the function must know what type of data it receives, okay, in the parameter. So the name and also the data type, okay, must be completely written, okay, for the function definition. So next one, returns, the keyword return. So it says here to return a loan installment. Okay, so write the keyword return and then type the installment. Okay, so this installment, remember just now we have discussed about the data type for the installment, which is of type float. Okay, and then you can expect to receive to return the installment of type float. Okay, next to calculate the installment using the second formula. So the second formula says that installment is according to this calculation. Okay, so when you translate this into a C++ statement, it will be like this. Okay, whereby you simply follow the draft, right, and then when you transfer this into the program, it will look similar, very much similar to this draft. Okay, next one is the main function. So the previous two functions are the function definition. So this is the main function that you need to write in order for you to execute the program. Okay, so the main function asks you to get the input, calculate the interest, and calculate the loan installment. Okay, so there are three major tasks here in this main function. Okay, so this is the skeleton, the draft in the main function. You have the function, you have the variable, okay, the declarations, you have the input, you have the function call, okay, and then you have the information to be displayed. These are the segments that you need to have in your main function. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one to get all the input needed. Okay, so For the input, you see, we need to get the input that relates to name, gender, loan amount, loan duration in years, and also the annual interest rate. So we have 5 input data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I say here, prompt the user to input name. So what is meant by prompt? Ask the user to enter value, like enter your name, enter your gender. So that is what we mean by prompt. Okay, prompt the user to enter name, prompt the user to enter the gender. So you see, I highlighted the name, gender in green. Okay, so to indicate that these are the locations. Okay, these are the variables. Okay, so the variables are, okay, name to store name, gender to store gender, the loan amount, okay, the years, and also the rate. Okay, so next one is of course to identify the data type. Okay, for this particular variables. Okay, so when you convert, okay, into another what we call view, okay, just now prompt the user to enter name, and then here we refine the statement so it becomes much clearer. Okay, like display enter name, input name. Okay, and the one that I highlighted in green are the locations, right? Name, gender, loan amount, yes, and rate. Okay, so next one, okay, for the input, when we translate, okay, just now when we translate the pseudocode, okay, into the C++ statement, okay, no before we translate, so I forgot to mention, you need to identify the data type. Okay, you need to identify the data type first. Okay, so for the location code name, you need to identify the data type, whether it is character, it is character array, or it is of type string. Okay, so see, for the name, the sample value, for example, I just write CTIN, so I know that this is of type string. So here data type is string. Next one, gender. Gender, I ask the user to enter either M or F. So for this one particular value, the appropriate data type will be char, right? And the loan amount, like sample value, is this figure. So of type float, duration in years of type integer, and annual interest rate is of type float, right? Okay. So next one, when you translate the requirement there, okay, then you will be able to write the instructions like this one. Okay, so here you have the variable declaration similar to this one, okay, that you have declared earlier. Okay, and then just ask the user to enter the name. This is what we mean by prompt. Prompt the user to enter the name, gender, loan amount, loan duration in years, and also the annual interest rate. So notice that for the string name, I use getLine function. Okay, so the getLine function is according to this format. Okay, cin followed by the name. Okay, that way you can get the values as per what the user entered, right? Next. So next one is to calculate the interest using the function called interest. So here you have to call the function because we have defined the function earlier. So just call the function and then send appropriate values for the called interest. So earlier, this is what we have in the function called interest, the function definition. So we have three parameters, meaning we need to submit three values to called interest function. Okay, and then in the end, you see here the keyword return, meaning this called interest function will return a value. Okay, so in this case, we have to have one location, okay, in order for us to get the value returned by the function. See, the function returns something, so we need to store the return value into a location. So let's just use interest, okay, as the location name. Okay, so call the function, call interest function, submit the three values. Okay, and then for each of the values, it will be what we call send to the values, the parameters correspondingly. Okay. So when I translate this into the C++ statement, it will be like this one. Okay. For the interest, since I don't have any, I have not declared the interest yet, so I simply declare here float interest. Okay, so this is my new variable. Okay, float interest. Okay, next one, the loan installment, the calculation. Okay, so here the same thing here. Just take a look at the function definition that we have defined earlier. So the function receives, okay, three values and then it returns one value, installment value. So same thing here. We need to pass three values. Okay, see, loan amount to loan amount. Okay, and then need to store the return value into a location. So in this case, we use installment. So since this is a new location, okay, so we can declare here float installment, so indicating that we have a new variable. Last but not least, you are asked to display the output according to the format here. Okay, so it's very simple. So for you to display this one, very simple, right? So just display using the cout statement, right? Next one, we want to display the customer's name. Okay, customer's name, hi Mr. Nikama. Okay, but in this case you need to check the gender, because if the gender is male, then only you store Mr. If otherwise, if the gender is female, then you have to write Mrs. Okay, so in this case you have to write a selection. Okay, write a selection using the if statement. Check if gender is M, then display Mr. followed by name. Otherwise, display Mrs. followed by name. When you translate this into C++ statement, it will be like this. Okay, check gender. Alright, next one is to display the details, the loan amount, the loan duration, the interest rate, and also the loan installment calculated earlier. Okay, so in this case, to display clearly, you need to use the C++. Sorry, clearly you need to use the cout statement, right? So this is what you need to write. Cout loan amount, okay, from the loan amount variable, loan duration, loan interest rate, and then the loan installment. So when you execute this full program, you should be able to get this. Okay, enter name, okay, male 300,000. Okay, then the duration, right, this much. Okay, so the loan installment is this much. Okay, very good. Okay, so actually we are done, but I want to share with you one particular feature. Okay, one particular feature that might be of interest to you. Okay, so notice that the loaned amount as in the user screen, okay, has comma. Okay, it has comma, but when you display using the previous statement, it doesn't have any comma. Okay, comma separated values. Okay, so what missing and the output now is the comma separated values. So the question is, how do you add commas? Okay, in 1,000 value, like when you have 1,000, then you want to add a comma to every 3 digits. Okay, that indicates the 1,000. So how do you add the comma? So to add the comma, actually you need to apply a special treatment. Okay, a special treatment. You need to perform a specific what we call a comma manipulation. Okay, or comma separator. This is beyond actually this is just a cosmetic lah kan, cosmetic feature. So when you have comma separator into your work in your work, it might be like it might look like okay, the output is nicely shown, right? So how do you add the comma? Okay, from this, for example, you type 300,000 0.50 kan, so how do you display it to become like this? Okay, from here, how do you make it to this? Okay, see, it fits nicely kan, it displays nicely. So the treatment is okay to use the special function. Okay, special function. The num punch. This one. This is again beyond the knowledge that you're required to know, but this is good for you to use. Okay, so this is in the already in the library. Okay, so you just add these statements into your work. Just type this statement. Okay, we have the do grouping here. So this do grouping is what does the job. Okay, so it provides the number of digits between each pair of 1,000. So when you want to call this function, you need to what we call imbue a new facet. So this, if you study about the object, classes, method, you will come back to this one, okay, to appreciate the knowledge. But for now, it is enough for you to use this particular segment if you want to beautify, if you want to enhance your output display. Okay, this is to manipulate the formatting of the output. All right, so just add this segment, okay, and then call the method. okay, call the imbue method. Okay, then now actually there are a lot of solutions. There are a lot of methods for you to use in order for you to add the commas. Okay, there are a lot of materials shared by the programmers out there. Okay, you might want to take a look when you have time. Okay, but for me the simplest one is the one that I'm sharing with you now. Okay, so this one is to format the output, okay, uh, to what we call significant values. Okay, so when you write this we call a segment, then it will give you a nice view of the display. You can have the comma. Okay, so oh, if I forgot to mention, you need to include. Okay, so the IO money refers to this one. Okay, refers to this one, and for this and this you need to include the local header file. Okay, hash include local header file, don't forget that. Right, time for the demo.